What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today.
What's cracking, y'all? I put out a post not too long ago about the summer shit show after it concluded with the Lakers drafting Bronny James, and I said that I was going to douse myself in alcohol tonight and whiskey. I'm a whiskey drinker, and I asked for some recommendations. Got a couple. So shout out to the people that gave me the recommendations for the whiskey. Christopher with the Gentleman's Jack. Can't believe I haven't tried that yet after all these years. I seem to always pass on it when I see it on a show for something that I'm already familiar with. And I'm Weak for Deaky with the Woodford Reserve Bourbon, something that Johnny Bravo was also going to recommend to me. So once I get to the liquor store, I didn't get a chance to get down there today, but tomorrow, I promise you, I will check it out to see if they have it in stock, and I will try out your recommendation for whiskey. Scott Too Large told me to check out, or told me to start with some cold beers. I know it sounds good, but I actually not a beer drinker. So I'm just going to roll with what I have in the house for now since things got busy, which is my favorite whiskey thus far, Crown Royal Vanilla. If you haven't tried it yet, it's a smooth drink, and boy, do I love sipping on this. Now, I usually will have this chilled, but I'm slacking, so I'm going to be drinking and sipping on this while I do this episode. I don't mix it. I always drink it straight. That's how I do. What a time to be a Laker fan. So, like I said, the summer shit show has finally ended. A chain of events that I feared and predicted, of course, came to pass. Because LeBron James has ultimate control, not just over the Lakers, but over the entire league. Adam Silver has allowed this. Adam Silver is just another LeBron James puppet as far as I am concerned. JJ Reddick being hired as the Laker head coach and the drafting of Bronny James with the 55th pick in the second round. All solidified. LeBron and Reddick and their constituents can tell me all day, that LeBron had no direct involvement in the JJ Reddick hiring, amidst a viral and popular podcast between the two. And I will simply say, yeah, that's bullshit. You would be naive to think otherwise. These are the kinds of games LeBron and his lackeys like to play. JJ Reddick, a guy with no coaching experience, getting the one up on coaches that are very qualified. Now, I don't know everyone that was interviewed. I don't know everybody that was interested. But hell, maybe they didn't even want to be a part of that circus show of coaching the Lakers and coaching LeBron James anyway. I know I wouldn't want it. With that being said, past damning allegations are being brought up about JJ Reddick as he landed the new head coaching gig. And of course, Malika Andrews, ESPN, and other platforms are mysteriously quiet about this one, where if it was most other people, they wouldn't be. But I expected as much. For a variety of reasons that I don't want to get into, because this is not what this episode is about. But I really want to talk about this Bronny James fiasco. Now, pause while I take a sip. Whew. How did we get here? In a nutshell, because we are all aware of the events leading up to the draft. Now, I followed Bronny James in high school. Even did content on his high school games right here on this channel. Was rooting for the kid. But even back then, as he aged into his high school career, I have been on the record saying that this guy is not NBA material, not yet. And he doesn't even seem to be a breakout star in college. He needs much more development. Anywho, the kid gets drafted by a not so good USC team. has a turn for the worse with his medical condition, returned to play, was a bench player, and performed at such a level that would not warrant any team vying for him in an NBA draft. That's with me taking the medical condition into context, but even if that didn't happen, it didn't look like he would be NBA material, at least in his first year. But none of that even mattered at the end of the day, because his father, LeBron James, went into the book of Nepotism 101 and casted a blanket over the entire NBA. I want to play with my son Bronny. Whoever drafts Bronny lands a chance at landing me, basically. The face of the NBA, the biggest fish in the pond, LeBron James. I bring the headlines with me. I put butts in the seat. Lovers and haters alike will come to see me. That's LeBron James. And that's true. That does happen. Nepotism, though. Nepotism. LeBron doesn't say that. LeBron doesn't want that. Then this kid does not get into the NBA. But anyway, once Bronny James became eligible for the draft and declared for the draft, all of a sudden, it was reported that LeBron's PR crew put out a statement saying that LeBron says playing with Bronny is no longer a priority of his. Interesting enough, of course he would say that, so that teams could pull off their interest in Bronny if they knew LeBron James was not going to be attached to the deal in some kind of way. Whether to lure him in or hang the kid over the Lakers as trade bait. In any case, here comes the draft. No one drafts the kid in the first round, not even the Lakers, which I thought was a little strange. Not that he deserved it, because his game doesn't warrant it, but because, for some reason, not a single team decided to pick up the kid. That told me something was up. Something was going on that I wasn't necessarily aware of. As management, the Lakers made the right move, picked up a seemingly quality player in the draft that somehow dropped as low as he did. However, Bronny was not being selected to be used as a bargaining chip alone against LeBron and LA, despite the draft being a pretty weak draft, especially as you moved deeper into it, naturally. It made me think that Bronny was going to be selected by the Lakers while also stealing a player in the first round that probably should have got drafted earlier. The draft would go as perfectly as they wanted to for the Los Angeles Lakers. Everyone was going to be happy. Sure enough, a report comes out that Rich Paul was frantically on the phone lines pressing organizations, informing them that if anyone drafts Bronny James, he would leave to play in Australia. Now, to some degree, players not working out for teams they don't want to play for or showing a particular interest for one organization is not uncommon. This usually only happens with players drafted high, top talent, and they would therefore only be letting one or two, maybe three teams that are picking ahead of the team that they want to play for. They'll let them know to pass on them. They're not interested. But a player that might not even be D-League material in the second round, having an agent threaten every other team in the association that said player will go to play overseas. I have never seen anything like that in my entire life. Nothing. If you know of any instance where something similar with a player of Bronny's caliber, you let me know in the comment section. Drink time. The Lakers and LeBron James, they knew what they were going to do this whole time. This was all part of the plan.
Nobody panics because it's all part of the plan.
LeBron could get his son in on the ultimate freebie through nepotism, and they could retain their first round pick because all these organizations fear the retribution and power that comes with LeBron James, especially LeBron James from a Rich Paul clutch decision to issue threats. Now, I got the hiccups. Now. I don't think what they did was tampering by any official definition as outlined by the league. I'm not sure, but I don't think so. But if these reports are true, which I do believe they are, there needs to be something put in place to punish and deter something like this from happening again in the future. A team should be able to draft whoever the hell they want to draft without fear of retribution. That's your lottery ball, and you have the right to pick anyone available in fairness. But many owner and organizations bend to the will of LeBron and Clutch and know that they will exercise their power to make people's lives a living hell by whatever means necessary, blackballing, firings, other means of sticking it to somebody for foiling their plans.
He wound up all the loose ends in this case. Blasted meddling kids.
He was after the Franken jewels, which are woven into that tapestry.
Yes, might have gotten away with it, too. If it wasn't for these blasted kids and their dogs. He wanted to scare us off so he could pick up the land cheap. And I'd have done it, too, if you kids hadn't come along.
And I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids.
Now, if I was an organization that had interest in Bronny for the purpose of using him as leverage to make a deal, using my lottery pick fairly, I would have absolutely drafted him after those threats. Oh, I would have. After Rich Paul called me, threatening me that this guy was going to play over in Australia, I would have laughed, hung up the phone, lit a cigar, like J. Jonah Jameson, and say, try me. Try me. I will call your bluff. Go on ahead. Go overseas. Go play in Australia. I double dog dare you. Be my guest. Because in the event, if a player gets drafted, then decides he's going to go play overseas instead, there has to be some kind of rule in place where that player is ineligible to return to the NBA for X amount of years or a lengthy period of time, unless the player returns to the team that drafted him, or can only return to the team that drafted him after his ban is up. There has to be something in place, because otherwise, what stops players from just leaving and returning and signing with whoever they want? The NBA has to put something in place for something like this, if there isn't already. That's crazy. That should be a rule. You get drafted, you leave for overseas, you can't come back for at least 2 years. Seriously, that would be amazing. That would be perfect. Go ahead, Clutch. Go ahead, Bronny. Take your ass down to Australia. Be my guest. Let me know how playing overseas with the Australians work for your brand and player growth. Let me know how that works for LeBron playing with his son. I guess LeBron's going to go over there to play in Australia too. Please, go right on ahead. Be my guest. I will buy your plane ticket and your lodging. I will schedule for you the most exquisite outback safari excursion on your first weekend in Australia. Matter of fact, Bronny, Clutch, and LeBron, let me know what's really at P. Sherman 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney. Just keep swimming with me, folks. Bronny, let me know how kangaroo and ostrich taste. Let me know if the bugs are really as big as I have seen on some of those Google images. And while you're at it, don't bring your ass back to the USA until you pick up a very good Australian accent. They're awesome. And if you see Andrew Bogut and Delvedova, tell him I said what's up. Hell, bum-ass Ben Simmons might be there with him. Hell, Bronny might be a good thing for you. Some international flavor. Work on your global brand. By the way, New Zealand's in your backyard. Go visit the shooting site of Middle-earth for the Lord of the Rings movies. Matter of fact, honestly, I'll be down in Australia and New Zealand for the upcoming holidays. Bronny, come to think of it, let's link up, doggy. What's the drinking age out there? We can go grab some Scott Large, go grab some beers. Or some kind of drink, young man. If you're of the legal age to drink in Australia and New Zealand. I hear the Kiwis are incredibly friendly people, to be quite frank with you. The ladies are beautiful out there as well, from what I've seen. Hell, you might find love out there, Bronny. You might find love. You might not want to come back. Life might be perfect. But don't bring your ass back to my team, the people that drafted you, until your ban is up. Because you ain't playing that game here, boy. You ain't playing that game. There's got to be something in place. That's crazy. Better not draft him, or if he's going to play overseas, go right on ahead. Take the penalty with it. It was all part of the plan, man. They executed it. They got, from what all reports seem to be, should have been a top 10 player drafted. But they caught him. And they ended up getting the guy that they ultimately wanted. Crazy, man. Never in my life. The first father and son duo in the NBA playing together. LeBron James and Bronny James. I got too much pride for that. Because if I was in Bronny's situation, and this is just me, and I'm sure a lot of people would take the opportunity if their father, LeBron James, laid it out for him to walk down Easy Street. That's what he just literally walked down Easy Street. Boom, in the NBA. But if it was me, I got too much pride, man. I do. If I'm going to get into the NBA, I want it to be of my own hard work, of my honest merit. Everything I put in. I want to know that I'm there because of people around me helping me, because rarely anybody just gets there by themselves. But also, ultimately, the hard work, dedication, determination that I put in. Blood, sweat, and tears, my hard work. Reaching out to people, learning, asking for advice, being in the gym. I want to know that I got there mostly off my strength, the will of God, and people around me. Not no freebie. Not off nepotism. Don't be surprised. You know what? I was about to say, don't be surprised if this guy gets hazed because people know that he ain't supposed to be there. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen because LeBron James is his paw. And he's running everything in the NBA. It is what it is. You know? I mean, credit to LeBron for putting himself in this position where he has complete control over pretty much anything and everybody. Outside of mentioning, you know what, Adam Silver ain't gonna tug on LeBron James' shirt for nothing. Outside of him saying, you know what, don't say that. Oh, now LeBron want to shut up and dribble. But that's an episode for another day. I'm out of here, folks. I appreciate the whiskey recommendations. Again, I'm going to keep drinking this Crown Vanilla as I edit this video. And as soon as it's done editing, I will post it. Anyway, folks, that's all I got to say about it. I'm done here. I'm going to drink my whiskey, start editing this video. And if there's a bunch of errors, if there's a bunch of errors, blame it on the alcohol, blame it on the Blame it on the goose. Blame it on the Henny. Blame it on the Crown Vanilla. I'm getting jiggy. Anyway, y'all take care. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.